Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Powerhouse. We're so excited to have you. 3 more wonderful guests this week, and we're just very excited to see everybody on here. Hold on a second. Let's start up Facebook Live.
Streaming.
So yeah, this week we have Darrell Stern, Sara Boinkin, and Jeff Hunter, and each one is amazing in their own field. Darrell Stern has his own company. He's the CEO of Stern Storming, which is Stern Storming for inbound marketing. He will explain that to you, exactly what that is. And we also have Sara Boinkin, who is a licensed counselor with a passion for helping others to achieve their health and fitness goals. And last but not least, we have Mr. Jeff Hunter, who is the CEO of Virtual Assistants at VA Staffer. So 3 completely different businesses that are all very successful and can help you to also be successful in your entrepreneurial journey. So welcome, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Ian.
Hey, welcome to all 3 of you. Ian, as always, thank you so much for kicking off this show and introducing all of our incredible guests. You know, I always think to myself, how do we make our show better with each episode? And it just pales in comparison to any of the strategies that we have going on, because it just comes down to the guests and the people that we have. And you know, these people are way overqualified, and they're spending time to hang out with us and share their incredible stories. So guys, I am incredibly grateful for the 3 of you, Darrell, Sara, and Jeff, to be a part of this show. So our first guest, who is going to jump on and tell us his wonderful story, is my really good friend Darrell Stern, who is also from the East Coast with me. I had the absolute pleasure of meeting this beautiful soul here in London about a couple of weeks ago at a Snap Happen event. And I mean, he's just a firecracker. Just everywhere I go, you know, hey, my name is Darrell Stern, let's do this. And it's just like massive networker. And once you hear his story and really understand who he is, where he's coming from, you can all really piece it together as to why he is where he is and why he's so successful, what he's doing. So without further ado, my good friend, Darrell Stern.
Hello and welcome to the Powerhouse show. We are here streaming live across the entire world, the entire internet, bringing you new ways to think about your world, new ways to market your business, new ways to increase your health, new ways to invent and patent things and get your idea off the ground, all right here in one amazing power hour. So I have one thing to tell you, and that is do or do not. There is no try. It's time to get stern. So my name is Darrell Stern. I grew up in the East Coast. I was a kid actor. I was the voice of Scooter Computer on ABC's Schoolhouse Rock, which was a series of 4 cartoons on during Saturday morning cartoons that taught kids about computers. So today, I take my theater arts background and also my knowledge of marketing and computers and computer science and all of that, and I put it together to create 2 big ethical statements. One is, marketing is theater. In other words, everything that you do in marketing should create an emotional response. We are putting on a show. We want to elicit some kind of emotional response. And the second, which is very important, is marketing is the art of starting meaningful conversations. In other words, I want people to start who would value your business the most and think that you can solve their problem, right? To start communicating with you and start a conversation with you. So without further ado, I want to show you guys something, a couple examples of what I do. One client that I have, his name is Mike Heffelbauer, and he is a funeral director out here in Colorado. He is an awesome guy, and I'm going to pause this music right here so I can get ready to play this other thing. So for Veterans Day, we put out a video of him telling a story. And all I'm going to do is show you this video, and then you tell me why this is such a great marketing piece. So I'm going to try and turn if I can pull my camera around here, I'm gonna spin around. By the way, you can't see them now, but the Rocky Mountains are out there on the horizon. The sun is setting here on the wall. That's an homage to where I grew up. That's New York City, of course, skyline. But this is the video that I wanted to show you. Let's see if I can hit the play button. Here it comes.
So I have many years, nearly 25 years of being involved in military services. And we do take special care because they have served our country. Last year in June, we took care of a gentleman that was indigent. Basically, he had no family. He was a Vietnam veteran. We got him a casket, we draped his flag, we got him some flowers, and we took him to Fort Logan and did an honorable burial for him. His history and what he did serving our country might have, over time, gotten him to the place that he was in. And we still have to be thankful and honor him for his service. And we did that. No family present, no military services. So he's buried at Fort Logan National Cemetery, and he has a headstone with his name on it.
So I'll tell you about a little history about that video and what I do. When I meet with someone and I talk about, marketing, whoops, I'm trying to turn this, marketing, what they do, I start to ask them questions about things that, what has happened in their life, in their business, right? And which one of those stories would actually reach out and touch people. So when he told me that story about how he found and located a Vietnam veteran who had no family, no one knew him, there was no one around to, help him or anyone to contact. He had this gentleman buried in Fort Logan Cemetery out here, a military funeral, had the whole thing set up and gave him an honorable burial. That story doesn't just tell that story. It's you look at Mike Heffelbauer and you see a person that has heart, that has honor, and that becomes someone that you are proud to know. And one of the comments that we got on the video from someone that knows him is that actually brought tears to my eyes, and I didn't even know you had never told me that story before. So I hope that makes sense to you in terms of when you are marketing yourself, when you are telling these stories about your business and your life, put a little heart into it and communicate in a way that lets people know something more than just the features of your business. Like we do this or we do that, or we're this size or that size. You always want to market yourself based on the benefits of what you do and not the features. So the next thing I want to talk about really quick is Saul Reisman, who is a local auto mechanic here. The kid is a genius auto mechanic. I'm not going to show you, all his videos or anything like that. But what we did was we set out to say, okay, this person really knows a lot about this. So we want to digitalize the experience of him and what he knows about. So I actually started that back in April, going out and visiting with him. And we actually created over 100. Can you see them there? Oops, am I turning that the wrong way? There we go. Over 111 YouTube videos, which were all transcribed and put onto his website as, I'm trying to switch the page around, as blogs. And every single blog that's in there, when he talks about, let's say, Ford or fixing tires or whatever, we then did SEO on that and took each keyword and linked it back to the main homepage. So when you search for Lamborghini repair, Bentley repair, any other kind of luxury car here in Colorado and you need it repaired, he comes up not just number one, but number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I'm getting at is that there is an art and science to your message and what you do. And me as a marketing agency, the reason why I come into the picture is because I know how to take that, what you already know and what you can already talk about and what you already feel and what your stories already are, and weave them together using the science of SEO and HTML and interlinking links and all that different kind of stuff to have the maximum impact. So again, everything that I do also, we make sure that it has a call to action. I'll put my phone number in a tweet. I'll put my phone number in an Instagram post. I will make sure that I am aggressively communicating with people and inviting them to schedule an appointment with me to get me on the phone. I've been doing internet marketing and SEO since before there was a Google. I've never closed a sale without, hello, you know, talking to someone on the phone. So this is our hashtag, Get Stern. Started this a while ago. It literally has a double meaning, obviously. It's get my marketing agency behind what you do, but it's also let's get serious about this. Let's get strategic about it. Another tip that I had for you is Saul Reisman was in Las Vegas at the big SEMA show. It's a big convention for auto parts dealers for all over the world. And I taught him how to go live on Facebook. While he was going live on Facebook, we figured out what company booth, you know, he was at. And we started tagging the booths. We started mentioning them. We had his page like the page of that company and made sure that we mentioned them. Well, guess what? We hit a big few of them that are worldwide distributors, and now they're, you know, resharing all of his stuff worldwide. When I worked on his, and you could tell me when it's, you know, about time for me to stop, but we researched and found every Twitter handle of every different type of car maker that there is. So when he fixed the Chrysler, we sent it out to Chrysler, and guess what? Chrysler liked his tweet and put our local auto mechanic on the top of the Twitter feed that has 185,000, you know, people following it. So that's what I love to do. The exercise that I do is called stern storming. And my motto in marketing and in life is be specific. When people say, that's my something buzzing on my computer. Well, be specific. In other words, when people say, this will make your life better, or it makes you healthier, or it makes it, you know, it saves you time and money. I go, I can put that bumper sticker on the top of just about anything, and it would work. And if that's the case, then, you know, it's not specific enough to you. Is that good, guys?
This is amazing, Darrell. Thank you so much, guys. Do you see all of this high vibe energy? And I have you right now. I'm live streaming, and everyone's just like, oh my gosh, this guy really knows his stuff. I know I have Sara on Facebook as well, so it's hysterical. I love it. Darrell, tell us why. And you know that I am obsessed with your high energy, your wealth of knowledge. Tell us what got you started into doing this. Like, why are you so passionate about it?
Well, during the dot-com boom, I worked for a big corporation back east, a software firm, and I was in the marketing department. So I was sitting between the IT guys, right, and know all the IT, and the marketing department that didn't have they didn't understand any of it. And they, at that time, during that dot-com boom, there were big advertising agencies in New York City starting on this website design thing. Well, guess what? They want $120,000 for a website that basically we were hand coding this, old style HTML, no database, in Dreamweaver. I literally had to cut and paste the whole thing together. But I told them I need 2 header graphics. Like, that's it. And then I'm putting the whole thing together. This is ridiculous. We used to get the SEO report from software from CompUSA that I was like, that software costs $20 and you're spending $90,000 a year on this. So if you're familiar with Penn and Teller, you know, the guys who do the magic tricks and rip the covers off everything and show you how it's done, I consider myself to be the Penn and Teller of web design and computer science and marketing. I say no. That when you say social media marketing, they're always focused on you put out about this, Diana. You talked about this all the time. They're focused on the platform. Can I get more likes on Facebook? How do I use Facebook? 3/4 of the world's population's on Facebook. You click a button, you post a picture. That's how you use Facebook. Exactly. You said this. You said once you get your message straight, right? Yeah. The message that will affect people and get those people who will value you the most will say, oh my gosh, this is the solution. I don't care what it costs. You're hired. You put that message on everything else. So if you take out the social, you've got media marketing. And that's where I come in, because I believe that the real investment in time is in the creation of media, blogs, videos, memes, pictures, you know, all this stuff.
100%. Yeah, it doesn't even matter the platform. Wait, show that photo again.
These are some of that. So we have a really cool graphic artist working here, and I love Star Wars. So we started. So we have do or do not. There is no try. Get stern. Create a full inbound marketing experience. Mm-hmm. And this, which everybody's always asking about SEO, which I'm tired of hearing those 3 letters. So we put your blog is your SEO. When people say, you know, how can I get up on the search engine? I say, well, you go to the public library. There's a pamphlet there, a 3-page pamphlet, right, on business coaching by your competitor. And you have written the ultimate resource and Bible of everything business coaching in the world. And I want to trust the best of the, well, I'm going to check that book out of the library. That's your book then. So we have to write that book.
Yeah.
Right? It's not overnight. It's not something that's a magic trick. It's you have to have a long-term plan for your business, right? And a short-term plan. And in marketing, there is both. There is, we can blitz this. We can go, bam, you know, we want to boost these posts and get this out there and get people to come and see you this weekend. But there's another part to it for the longevity of your business, which is strategic and is over the long term of you growing and growing and growing.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So,
Ian, is this your first time connecting with Darrell?
I love that.
Actually, we are Snapchat friends, so no.
Okay.
We're Snapchat friends. Yeah, Snapchat.
I was actually watching him. Somebody had mentioned Darrell to follow him. I think it might have been Jeannie, and yeah, I saw he liked Star Wars. I said, okay, there we go. There's one.
Ian and I are buds. Ian already sent me pictures of his office too, and we're like down. That's it. Star Wars convention in April, Florida. We're going.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. The one question I have is, so if somebody wanted to, and well, one thing I like about what you do actually is you have that one-on-one conversation with a new client, whether it's in person or via Skype, and so what is that experience like for you when you first find out what the needs of your customer are? What is that like? I mean, how does that go for you?
Well, okay, so I'm the kind of person who gives away the farm. In other words, when you start talking to me about your business or your life, I go, wow, this could be a video. I just start telling you what it should be. Okay. So I realized I had to stop doing that. I'm kind of giving everything away, and I'm trying to run a business. So one morning, I was talking to a colleague of mine, and I said, you know, I really love the brainstorming part, just having a meeting and sitting down and hashing out ideas. And he said, well, yeah, the stern storming part. And that was it. So now I insist with every new client that we do a 4-hour stern storming session. So I actually have a methodology behind this. I open up 4 different sheets and spreadsheets and all this. And one of them, I'll just tell you briefly, is this. It has a couple columns: features, benefits, needs, desires, and patterns. So I tell you, okay, what do you do, right? That's your features, right? Everybody knows what they do. Most of the time when you go to a networking meeting or you see an ad or whatever, or website, it's just bulleted lists, here's what we do. Then I say, okay, what's the benefit, not in the immediate, but in the aftermath of having done business with you? Because, and have you ever asked one of your clients, right, 6 months later, right, you finished the project, how is your life different now than it was before? Because the stories that they tell you and the cause and effect of what your business or service or whatever it is has had on their lives is going to surprise you, and that's your best marketing. Then we have to reverse engineer that, okay? Because Google is reverse engineering, and searching is the, you know, the art of reverse engineering. I'm trying to get in your head to say, the person searching out there for an answer, and say, how are they asking the question that then I can show that I can prove the benefit to? The other key part of that is you've got to have a cutoff. Okay, everybody's putting the prices and the details and all that stuff on their website or on the thing. No. Stop. Say, I'd love to talk with you about this. Then when you get them on the phone, you got to listen, right? This is what I call, where is it? Creating the full, you know, inbound marketing experience. It's not just a landing page and a website and a social media post. It's how you flow them into the conversation, how you service the customer, and what your contracts and agreements are, how you service them, you know, onward from there. So does that answer your question? I mean, that's my methodology. And my thing that I always say is be more specific.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you said listen to your client. That is so key, and I love that. Thank you. Thanks, Darrell.
Sure.
Yes, thank you so much, Darrell. I really appreciate it. And again, for bringing the fire and kicking off our show with so much zest and a ton of energy. So guys, Darrell Stern, and you guys can all connect with him. He's going to be on, he is part of the Powerhouse Show over on Facebook group, so please connect with him. Darrell Stern is his name. And so Darrell, hopefully you can stick with us towards the end of the show so that we can have a panel discussion and ask you questions again. Thank you so much. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing this wonderful human being, my friend Sara. Sara, who is a serial entrepreneur and is involved in a multitude of things. Sara and I have connected when she was involved in her current app. Can I say that? Can I say that that's your app? Okay, her current app of Fan Date, and it's another wonderful live streaming. And you know, it's interesting because as a live streamer myself, because we're all here right now live streaming on Facebook, guys, share this up. And for me to see an app and just have it to be really interactive and have scheduled times and posts and really treating it like a TV show, that's really something that's incredible, and I can't wait to test it out and be part of that platform. And more importantly, I'm just so grateful to have you part of my life and in various communities. So again, without further ado, Sara, welcome to the Powerhouse Show.
Yeah. Well, because Darrell played that, I have to play what gets me pumped to start.
Yes!
My closing song when I was a bikini competitor, no surprise. And not just because people confuse me for Britney Spears and Toxic all the time. It's fine. All right. Thanks, guys, for humoring me. So I wanted to take this time to explain a little bit about doing what it is that I'm doing. And let me know if the connection's okay, because I'm using somebody else's wireless. I'm actually at Plug and Play right now, which is where Google and PayPal started, and now where FanDate is located. So that's really exciting. I am in Silicon Valley. I'm initially from Phoenix, Arizona. I am a licensed mental health counselor, as Ian was saying. I practiced in the Phoenix area for about 6 years. I was both in private practice and then worked in the public sector, where I had 68 clients on my caseload. And I felt like I was teaching a lot of other people about self-care, but I myself felt incongruent because I was driving to my clients' homes and schools 300 to 500 miles a week. And as a result, I was just really strained. I was having coffee all day, even though I would meal prep, I never had time to eat. So as a result, I got into bodybuilding. I decided that that was what I was going to do to focus my energy and see if I could be my very best self. And in doing that, I got a real passion for nutrition. I started to recognize how important it was to fuel body and mind and how closely they were connected. I had a few kiddos on my caseload who were ADHD and were on the spectrum. So I was using nutrition as a modality and working very closely with their psychiatrists to see if we couldn't limit medication dosages and really use nutrition. And I found that that was the case. Darrell's giving me thumbs up. And I was just really appreciative of that. And so when I moved out here to the Bay Area, I said to my husband, I need a break. I've been working 50 to 60 hour work weeks, and it was really draining. And I knew that part of that self-care was I wanted to put my attention into something that I felt was better promoting not just those who are directly in front of me, but on a larger platform, and got into periscoping, got into live streaming. I was doing counseling scopes during the day and crazy fun scopes in the evening because life's about balance. And from doing that, actually found out there was a Periscope Summit near where I was, broke into the Periscope Summit because I didn't know about it ahead of time, and it was in San Francisco. So got to meet a lot of people who were famous for my phone and really developed connections with them, and thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if I had an opportunity to find some capacity to work with them? And then along came Fan Date, which is a side of what I wanted to talk about today, which is my own personal business, Project Potential, where I say we train the strongest muscle in the body, the mind, then focus on nutrition, then physical activity, in that order. Yeah, Darrell knows. it's all about what's up here before it's about what's in here. So especially for long-term sustainable results, it's really easy to cut calories, but it's not easy to maintain a healthy self if we don't have a healthy self. So that's what I've been working with people on over the last year and a half. I've had approximately 165 people I've worked with. 4 of them have been actual competitive bodybuilders, and the others were people who really just wanted to find a new solution, and what they had been doing wasn't really working. So we've partnered. I do consultations with people, and then from that make recommendations. I have a beautiful website that's launching. I finally hired someone to do it because I thought as a CEO you have to know how to do everything, but then Fan-Date happened and I had no choice but to outsource that, and I'm really grateful to Lashina Mack, who is building my website, projectpotential.live. I initially bought what I thought was a website, and it was a blog. I thought that building websites as a counselor was going to be more like creating Evites, and it was not. It was a lot of work, so I'm now doing that, and excited to say that as of projectpotential.live, you got it. You're very close, and it hasn't been launched yet, but it will be launched. But projectpotential.com, also a very good organization, unless that's .org, which provides for children in third world countries. Thank you. So in any case, with that, I got started in Fan-Date accidentally in the last 10 weeks. Fan-Date's a new app that's like Periscope and like Facebook Live, only we promote those who have very high quality content. It's not this idea of when you see people getting on Periscope and they're kind of like, now you entertain me. That's not it at all. I work with people that I think already have a very strong personality, already have a very strong brand, and we offer them branding for their content. And then we have very big celebrities coming on. I can't yet say, but we do have an A-list star that's coming on next week who has over 100 million followers, and Fan-Date just pairs fans with their favorite celebrities so they can ask questions. We have a variety of different products that are available. Fan-Dates, which are pre-recorded questions for very brand safe interactions for the celebrities. Talk shows, which Diana is going to be gracing our community with as well. And I do a program on there called Analogy Psychology with a counselor, where I provide different analogies to help people think differently about what it is that they're struggling with in their own life, whether business or personal. And we also have something called Town Hall, which is going to be released in India, and it's geo-fence locations that you can ask questions if you are directly in that vicinity. So that's going to be really awesome. So that's something that I do on the side of what I've been doing with Project Potential. And it's funny to hear me described as a serial entrepreneur because, as I said, my background is in mental health counseling, but I really feel like I've been able to make a greater impact in being able to reach more people, expanding my influence and partnering, which I think is super important. I am somewhat of an influencer. I've been able to partner with a lot of really great companies, whether it's my friends' small businesses that they're up and starting or very large businesses that are international. It's been such a pleasure, and that's a little bit about me.
That's amazing, Sara. Oh my gosh, my mind is just completely blown. And this is really the first time where I'm really getting to learn your story and learn more about you. And I'm just completely floored. So my question for you is, I love it when you're talking about that you have to take care of yourself, right? Your mind first and foremost above all else. If we're really proceeding to achieve these high level premium value things in your life. So when it comes to mind, your mindset and health being incongruent with one another, what's the one thing that you can tell someone who finds it difficult to detox from their daily habits, something that they formed over the years, and they're like, oh, but I can't really separate from this. I don't really want to exercise, or I don't really see the need to even just detox or go through these steps of being consistent every day when it comes to a healthy lifestyle. I'm sure you say a lot of things, but what's 2 of your biggest takeaways?
So I want to say that sometimes when we're in our normal looks different from everybody else's. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the book, The 4 Agreements, but the 4th agreement is always do your best, and your best looks different each day. Darrell's making a face, so I'll just say that that's written by Don Luis Miguel. Is it in that order? Don Miguel Ruiz, thank you. But he wrote a book, and the last chapter he talks about the 4th agreement being always do your best. And so our best, sometimes you're saying, Diana, sometimes our best looks better on one day than it does another. I mean, think about now it's coming to the holidays, it's coming to the end of the year. A lot of our stress has to do with focusing on others. And then in the new year, what happens? We all start focusing on ourselves again. We join gyms. But in the spirit of analogy psychology, and I love to present to people in that way because I think it gets us neurologically connecting differently, is this idea of when you're on a plane and the airline stewardess is prepping you. She is prepping you. She's telling you, you need to put on your own oxygen mask before you help the person next to you. It's the same in our very own lives. If we don't recognize, then think about what happens just in that moment. If you're putting the oxygen on somebody else, that lightheadedness is going to affect your decision making. It's not going to present you with your very best opportunity. So it's the same in our day-to-day lives. We need to really check in with ourselves. Meditation's a great way to do that. Journaling is a great way to do that. Obviously, setting a schedule that we're comfortable with. I know I'm not a person, if I don't work out in the morning, I just feel on a different level when I don't exercise before I go and have a busy day of activity. It's just something that I know from checking in with myself that helps me to focus. And so I encourage the same of other people.
Very cool. Thanks, Sarah. I guess the question I have is, having gone through a detox like a few weeks ago myself, what is your best advice, because you're talking about, you've got to take care of the mental and the physical, and as well as food habits. Would you suggest to your client that you would start slowly, start with food or start with exercise, or would you focus on the mental part first?
So I always focus on the mental part first. That's just kind of the way that we work at Project Potential. And what that has to do with is creating an agreement, or we have a discussion in which I ask them, what are your goals? It's the same thing with counseling. I would never approach counseling a client before we've set a treatment plan. It's like getting in a car, again with the analogies, like getting in a car and not knowing what direction we're going. I need to know where my here is so I know when we're done or when we're moving to the next thing. So I always work with that first. And then also acknowledging what are the barriers that have gotten in the way in the past. That's something that obviously leads us back into our old habits. So I start with that, and we build slowly, because I think too much at once is going to give us this idea that we have to maintain perfection, and perfection is not something that exists. So by building habits, we're starting out very slowly, and we're checking in with what works all of the while.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead, Darrell.
Hey, I have a question. So one thing that frustrates me, like back in the 80s, right, we used to say that little kids were hyper, right? Kids were hyper, and that changed into like ADHD, and they were, kids were going on Ritalin. We got to calm these kids down. And I say, but maybe those are the super geniuses that are going to split, that are going to cure cancer. I mean, is there a way that we can live in a happy medium and between, and see these people that are quote unquote ADHD as really just really quick thinkers, and change our thinking about it so that we can put them in an environment where they're nurtured, not slowed down?
Mm-hmm. So my first short answer to that is eliminate red dye number 3. That's not eliminating. My second answer to that is actually that I'm a very solution-focused person. So I think that each of us have our own strengths, and one of the challenges that we have in the school systems are that oftentimes we are teaching to the test. And so we're not able to necessarily recognize. I know that one of the first things that gets cut from our schools are artistic programs, which really facilitate the growth of and breadth of who we are as people. So I think one of the best things that parents can do is involve their kids in extracurricular activities and take that in the direction where they want to go. And it doesn't have to be something expensive. I know I'm really big on Groupon, for example. I like to challenge my body by going out and finding an aerial yoga class or a bar class. I know Diana and Jeannie like to do hip hop.
Yes.
So finding things that really make us greater in who we are every day. Something that really challenges us. So that would be my advice. And I actually spoke to a high school 2 weeks ago, and they were going to be the first in their family who will go to college. These kiddos reminded me a lot of my clients, actually. And the topic of that conversation was be famous in your own life and what exactly that means. And that's kind of the same vein that I'm talking about. Find the things that make you uniquely you. We all have our own sets of gifts and talents and skills. And by facilitating that, rather than trying to put everybody into a very, very narrow box, we're going to continue to grow.
100%. Wow, Sara, there were so many things that you said that really just spoke volumes to me. And I am extremely grateful, both Ian and I, to have you on this show. So thank you very, very much. And we can't wait to be part of that growing family community. So whatever you need from us to support you, just know that we're here at your corner. Thank you so much, Sara. And hopefully you can stay at the end for the very brief panel discussion. Thank you so much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, last but definitely not least, this gentleman, let me just tell you a really quick background story on this man, Jeff J. Hunter. So I had asked Jeff, I don't even think you know this story, so this is going to be very interesting. Right?
Oh, boy.
So I was working on a project with one of my business partners. A lot of you know him, Frank Salas. And he was like, look, I need some virtual assistants. I think like earlier in the years, look, I need some virtual assistants for someone in the Philippines, because he was like trying to do like a merger and a partnership. And so I reached out to I have 2 virtual assistants that's been with me for the last, maybe like 2 years now. And so I asked both of them, I was like, this is what I need to find. I need you to find me, I need you to find in the Philippines that has like all of these virtual assistants that knows exactly what he's doing. And I was like, I need for you to find me him. And they were like, where, how? I was like, I don't know, be innovative, be creative, freaking find me him. Right? So I went on this whole entire search, and then so it narrowed down to, I think, like finally out of like a couple dozen people, I was like, no. And it came down to like maybe 4 to reach out to. And it was your team, Jeff, that was like, oh, you have to speak with Jeff. And like your team from the Philippines, incredible customer service, super friendly, got back to me right away. And me, I'm very, very militant. I'm like, I want things done yesterday, right? So a lot of people don't really take into my personality very, very well. And that's okay, because then I'm the type that I'm working with or not to work with. So for me to say that to my assistants and for them to find other people, and then when I finally got connected to you earlier this year, I was like, who is this dream come true that came?
I'm better than your internet connection, I hope. Or is it me?
Since then, I've been seeing you on a lot of my, you saying, and you're just extremely knowledgeable about everything. So it's just like this incredible human being. So anyway, without further ado, my friends, Jeff Hunter in the building.
What's up, guys? Thank you for that warm intro. And I wasn't going to let Darrell outdo me, so I had to pull up this picture here. That's me.
Oh my God. Guys, for those that are catching this on the podcast.
This is in Manila, in the Philippines. Like that, so a lot of what I do.
Jeff and Darrell are having a battle right now.
My 40 some odd team that's located around the world, from America, India, Caribbean. Actually, about 95% of my team is in the Philippines. And it's a really bustling place to be right now. That's me right there with my team up on top of,
Philippines.
yeah, that's some of my son made a lot of friends. I tell you, my son learned a lot of the Filipino language, Tagalog, a lot more than I did. He's amazing. It's funny how fast kids can pick things up, you know. But a little bit about myself. I'm actually an industry project manager. I've been in IT administration and project management for, I'd say, about 10 years. I've worked for the government, which is like the exact opposite of being an entrepreneur. So I've worked both ends of the spectrum. I've also worked for a really trusted number 77 in Forbes most trusted brands worldwide, Philips. I used to be a project manager, managing anywhere from $1 to $3 million worth of projects on a monthly basis. I actually was voted, I won 2 years in a row, top 5 project managers at Philips. So it's something that I really enjoy. I love being in tight spots. I love being under pressure, and I'm a workaholic. I think most entrepreneurs are. So a little bit about what I do. I help people focus on that little sliver of their life. I call it the 10% that's actually useful, and the 90% of the things that probably aren't as useful. And what I like to do is start out right here with a picture. Look at this. I got my own little whiteboard here for you guys. Isn't that cute? So let's if we do a graphical representation of what 90-10 looks like. There's your 90%. There's your 10% down here. See how it looks like an exclamation mark? This is what I do. I focus on this part here so that people don't have to do this part here. That's it. That's all I do. So typically what I look at is, from a business standpoint, I try to do what I call an initial process assessment to figure out what in the world you're doing. Now, I'm going to put a huge disclaimer out there for everybody right now, which is you might not be ready for a virtual assistant. Maybe you're not ready at all, because you have to have a sustainable level of amount of work. If you ain't working, you don't have enough work yet. Okay? The virtual assistant is for the person who is already doing too much, all right? And if you don't feel like you're doing too much, if you are at the end of your day and you feel like you've still got more day left, well, then you probably aren't ready. Virtual assistants in this world is more about people that just are overwhelmed, they're overburdened, they have too much stuff going on, and they find themselves doing a lot of what I call administrative work, right? You have the copy pasting, you've got the email. Let me tell you a funny story. I was actually in Idaho last weekend. Russell Brunson, who's the guy who started ClickFunnels, was having a mastermind up there. One of my clients is Liz Benny. She's probably watching this right now. Hi, Liz. She's an absolute rock star. Actually, Diane, I got to get you two connected together. She's going to be someone you want to leverage for you're talking about. But,
yes, please.
We were at dinner. We were at this amazing place, actually not too far away from you, Darrell. But we could have probably crossed paths if I would have known you before. It would have been a decent drive for you, though. But I was up in Boise, and I was at this awesome restaurant called Barbacoa. Which, by the way, I'm just going to throw it out there, disclaimer, I'm like a total social media noob, okay? Like, I've been learning, and actually I take so much from you, Diana. I learn a lot from you. I'm looking at your hustle, I'm like, oh, I got to do that. I'm taking notes, you know? But anyway, I go to Barbacoa. We have an amazing meal. I had something new that they made called the Trio. It's a little bit of lamb. It's a little 4-ounce medallion, and then there was a little lobster tail. It was absolutely amazing. And I took a picture of it. And I posted on Instagram, and it went bananas. It had all sorts of views and stuff. And I guess Barbacoa is a pretty big deal. And they contacted me on Instagram. It's like, hey, we really want to use your photo. Can we use that photo? We'll give you credit and everything else. I'm like, yeah, I was just posting about how amazing the food was. It was amazing. They're like, oh, awesome, cool, right? So now I have this restaurant who sends hundreds of, people my way on Instagram. I was like, what's going on? Like, it's blowing up. I didn't know what was going on. But that's not the picture that was important that night. The picture that was important that night was the picture that I took of that receipt. The picture that I took of that receipt. I took a picture of it, and Liz was looking, and she was like, what are you doing right now? And I'm like, well, I use an online accounting system that my virtual assistant uses to do all my accounting and taxes and everything else. I take a picture of it. I literally just take a picture of it and click OK, make sure it looks good, and it gets sent off over to my accounting software. And then my accountant, when that transaction hits the bank, she takes the picture that I've uploaded, she puts it onto the bill, and it's done. And I do that every day. Every time I have something, I whip out my phone and I take a picture of that receipt. And sometimes I make a note on there, like what it is. Sometimes I'll just bring a pen with me and I'll just write on the receipt, like, okay, business meal or whatever it is. And take a picture of it. I haven't done my own accounting in 2 years, guys. You know why? That's because it's part of the 90%. That's part of the 90%. I like to focus on the 10%. My 10% is the creativity. It's doing activities like this. It's focusing on my coaching and consulting with my clients. And I love, Darrell, I love the fact that you do a lot of SEO and web and stuff like that. That's really cool. We can align right there. I think that building relationships is my 10%. That's what I love doing. So that's basically it. There's nothing else to what I do. I focus on the things that I want to do every day because I have a team of people that help me achieve that goal. And I also help other people achieve that goal to get real freedom, which is actually time, right? So I sell the most valuable commodity on this earth, time. There it is.
Wow, well put, my friend. Holy smokes. First of all, can I just say that the fact that you said that you were a noob on social media, did you see my eyes pop out? I was like, what are you talking about? You come onto the Dolls Mastermind and you provide so much value, and what you do every single day, it's just you serve, you give, and I think that's one of the most valuable things, as all of us here on the platform that's here right now, is that you provide a lot of value for people and you constantly educate. And that's really what it's all about, just being able to share what it is that we know and really, produce as much material as much as possible. And that's what you do, Jeff. Like the things that, when I see all of the things that you put out, I'm like, oh my gosh, where has he been this whole entire time?
I do like Darrell said. I really just I genuinely listen and I think about it for a while. And sometimes I do that whiteboard Wednesday. If you guys haven't seen, I'm in my studio right now, guys.
Oh my goodness.
Don't laugh at my setup.
No, that's amazing.
Let me turn off this. But right back here is this giant 100-inch whiteboard that every Wednesday I literally just take questions from my clients, pressing questions that they have, and I write them out. I just write them down throughout the week. And every Wednesday, I take the best question or problem that people give me, and I solve it live because I know that it's giving a lot of value. And, I get paid to solve people's problems. I do what I call an initial process assessment, which is where I dig into people's processes and I find out what's wrong with them and how they can do them better and how they can automate lots of things. And I kind of have a theory where if you automate stuff and then there's stuff that you can't automate, that's the people person, right? That's where you need to have the people, right? If you can get away in entrepreneurialism, you can get away with doing a lot of stuff yourself. And you can do a ton of stuff if you have the right automation systems in place, but there gets to a point to where it's impossible. Let me tell you some things I don't do. I don't manage my calendar. I don't sort through my emails. I don't set my own appointments. I don't take email inquiries from new clients. My team does that. I don't do that kind of stuff because that really takes away from the value that I can actually give. I'd rather spend my time listening and understanding people's problems and then coming up with solutions.
Exactly. That was my what I was going to say was, why would I be doing something, say your hourly rate, you have a set hourly rate, $50, $60 an hour, or you could be, like in my case, producing something for somebody. Yeah, here I am over on Excel or whatever, typing in numbers, something that a virtual assistant will do for what, a tenth of that or something like that. Right?
And let me tell you the pricing craziness, right? Like, here's what people don't understand. If you pay someone in the Philippines anywhere from $4 to $10 an hour, that is life changing. Like, that's literally life changing, and they will work for you so good. Now, what I can tell you is that outsourcing is a bitch. Okay, I said it. I probably said the only cuss word tonight. I'm sorry, but it was worth it because it is a very tedious task. It's one of the reasons why, and I guess I'm dropping the bomb right here on the show now, live for the first time ever, but I'm announcing something that I'm building called the 9010 Life.
Oh.
And it's 9010.life. It doesn't even, I literally have the domain. There's no, if you go there, it's going to be a dead link. I literally bought it last week because I'm tired of people doing all that stuff themselves. So I'm actually putting together an awesome training course, and actually Liz Benny's kind of coaching me, helping me out put this together because she's been so successful in the training arena. And she has all these awesome people that she told me flat out, I flew to Idaho to help her. And when we got there, she was so intrigued with how I manage my business. She goes, oh my gosh, you should just, like, don't you have a program or something? Like, can't you just like the knowledge that you have in your head, like you take for granted, you just took a picture of something and someone's going to do that for you. Like, if you taught people how to do that and systematize their life so they can focus on the 10% and get rid of the stupid 90%, well, it's not stupid, it's critical, but it's bad that you do it, right? Because there's a lot of things in life that are important and critical to do, but it's not important and critical that you do it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Holy smokes. This is so incredible. Jeff, thank you so much. Look, I already knew since you and I had connected earlier this year that you are a total hotshot, and this confirms it, my friend, 100%. Thank you so much, Jeff, for being here. I mean, a lot of the things that you're saying, people really need to hear that. Like, to add processes and systems in your life is so integral, especially
if you guys are struggling. FB.com, Facebook.com/J, just the letter J, Hunter 101. That's also my Twitter tag, at JHunter101. VAStaffer.com. Guys, reach out to me if you're having struggle. Like I told you though, I am very exclusive about my people. Don't get mad if you're not a great fit for me. But I will tell you that I can at least help you down your journey to freedom.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Jeff. I'm so appreciative of you being here. So I want everyone to.
Everyone to what?
Yeah, so everyone can jump into the panel discussion. So I have a question for you, because I have a lot of people that were on the Facebook Live and they were, asking questions, especially people that wanted to kick their entrepreneurial drive. So one thing that I would like for each and every one of you to answer is, what would you say to someone that really wants to become an entrepreneur, but they're just sort of like on that edge, right? They're like looking at the view, but they're not ready to take that leap because they're just like, oh my gosh, there is no safety net at all. What am I going to do? So from each of you, Sara, Jeff, Darrell, I would love to hear your input on that, please.
And Diana, I have to bounce in 2 minutes, but I have something really amazing to say about this.
Yes.
I've been there. And my entrepreneurial hustle has taken 3.5 years to articulate to this point where I made the leap this year on leap day, February 29th this year. And what I encourage everybody is to validate what you're trying to do first.
Mhm.
Never take a leap until you validated the principle. That's where you end up on the street.
Yep.
Stay in your job. There's nothing wrong with having a job. And guess what? There's nothing wrong about failing in life and going back to that job. There's nothing wrong with that either. A lot of times entrepreneurs, they look down at other entrepreneurs that don't make it. And guess what? The struggle is every day. We have to really work hard to achieve there. There's going to be ups and downs. We're going to fail. We're going to be great. A lot of my clients, they've won and lost more fortunes than I will ever do. And I will just say, if it's not working, give yourself 6 months to validate it. Keep your job, try and grow that, make it successful. If it's not successful, if you're not getting in after 6 months, the hardest thing to do is to quit. And I'm telling you, sometimes quitting is the absolute best thing you can do. Find something else to do. Validate it.
Boom. That's the way to mic drop and leave. Thank you so much, Jeff. I know you have to go, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Jeff.
I love it. Thanks again. Bye.
Thank you. Sarah?
I should have Darrell go first because I was too busy periscoping to catch the question.
I love it. Okay, Darrell, go for it.
Well, a couple of things. One is people always think that you're an overnight success. You know, oh, I'm here and wow, you know, you boom, you just came on the scene. It's meant to be an overnight. My first idea for a business was in 1998. That's when I first incorporated my first businesses. So I'm almost up to 20 years, and it's really only been the past 3, 4-ish that really this has taken shape, and I have an office and employees and all that kind of stuff. So it's a long haul. The other thing I'll take into the practical thing is that hire a good, fiduciary, not just a bookkeeper or accountant or something like that. Because all of a sudden when you explode and boom, 6 figures and blah, 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 believe me, hire people that understand that, because I'm creative marketing, ADD, whatever, all over the place, scroll over here, scroll over there, Star Wars memes, blah, 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 right? I balance. My little brother used to tell me a joke. What's 7 and 8? I go, 15. He go, what's 8 and 7? I go, 15, and you get it. So get people around you that the things that you don't know that much about, talk to them and bring them in and make sure you get references and bring in that support team with you as you grow.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Darrell. So I love it. This is stuff that a lot of people need to hear and need to be reminded of, because as an entrepreneur, it is not easy. So to hear from other entrepreneurs of their feedback and their insight is absolutely integral for our growth, and to have mentors that can really showcase that. So Sarah, the question was, what would you say to entrepreneurs, to people that are looking to get into the entrepreneurial space, but they're looking on the edge and they see the view and they're like, oh no, there's no safety net here. What would you say to them to say, you know what, just take that leap of faith?
Okay. In the spirit of doing all things analogy, psychology, do you see my phone case?
Is your phone case a Willy Wonka bar? I love you so much.
And
oh,
Darrell, I know you showed your favorite movie. There's a story behind this case. But what I wanted to say about this is actually that just like the entrepreneurial spirit, you don't get this golden ticket from eating one bar. You would be awfully lucky if you did. And obviously that's the way that Roald Dahl wrote it for Charlie's character.
Mm-hmm.
The steps that Charlie took to be able to purchase that one bar that he got. He actually had like maybe 3. But along with that note, it's the same. If you do the things that are constantly moving you in that direction, I think where I am right now, I've told a lot of people, they're like, how did you get into that? How'd you get into Fan-Aid? It was a series of small miracles just from doing the things that I already enjoyed doing and practicing the things that I already believed. The universe wants to reward you for being a wonderful person. So go out and be a wonderful person.
I think Sarah is muting for a second with her internet. I think what Sarah was trying to say is go out and be a wonderful person, which I 100% agree. And I know that Sarah had mentioned to us earlier that her internet was choppy. So Ian and Darrell, you guys can hear me, right? Thumbs up. Cool. Awesome. So now that if this is frozen, Sarah, I'm so sorry, but I know the message that you have out there and I resonate with it very, very, very passionately. That is a wrap up for our show. Guys, thank you so much for those that tuned in onto Facebook, on Periscope, in all of the groups, for those that were sharing this up. Most importantly, I want to give a really, really big thank you to all of our incredible guests this evening, for Darrell Stern, for Sara Boinkin, for Jeff Hunter. And if you guys want to connect with them, join us on our Facebook group over at Powerhouse Show. And Powerhouse is spelled with a Z because that Z is the lightning, just like my co-host, the incredible Ian Power. Ian, thank you so much for, day in and day out and continuing to serve us. A lot of people don't understand the back end work that we do to make this show up and running, to have these incredible people, and it's really all thanks to you, Ian. So, again, guys, thank you so very much, and please tune in next week live again for the Powerhouse episode number 6. Every single Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is our time. It's Diana and Ian kicking off. Thank you, guys.
I just want to thank you, Diane, for always being an amazing co-host and, bringing all these guests together for us. It's wonderful, and you're wonderful, and everyone here, Darrell, you were wonderful. Sara, Jeff, all of you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for everybody for watching live on Facebook and for listening to the podcast when it comes out. Love you guys. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.